Dear Mr. Henshaw, Friday, March 2nd, page 95. Back to the poem tonight. The only rhyme I can think of for butterfly is flutter by. I can think of rhymes like trees and breeze, which are pretty boring, and then I think of wheeze and sneeze. A poem about butterflies wheezing and sneezing seems silly, and anyways, a couple of girls are already writing poems about monarch butterflies that flutter by. Sometimes I start a letter to Dad thanking him for the $20, but I can't finish that either. I don't know why. Saturday, March 3rd. Today I took my lunchbox and Dad's $20 to the hardware store and looked around. I found an ordinary light switch and a little battery and a cheap doorbell. While I was looking around for the right kind of insulated wire, a man who had been watching me, boys my age always get watched when they go into stores, asked if he could help me. He was a nice old gentleman who said, "What are you planning to make, son?" Son? He called me son and my dad calls me kid? I didn't want to tell the man, but when he looked at the things I was holding, he grinned and said, "Having trouble with your lunch, aren't you?" I nodded and said, "I'm trying to make a burglar alarm." He said, "That's what I guessed. I've had workmen in here with the same problem." It turned out that I needed a 6-volt lantern battery instead of the battery I had picked out. He gave me a couple of tips, and after I paid for the things, a little slap on the back and said, "Good luck, son." I tore home with all the things I bought. First, I made a sign for my door that said, "Keep out. Mom, that means you." Then I went to work fastening one wire from the battery to the switch and from the other side of the switch to the doorbell. Then I fastened a second wire from the battery to the doorbell. It took me a while to get it right. Then I taped the battery in one corner of the lunchbox and the doorbell in the other, and another. I stood the switch up at the back of the box and taped that in place too. Here I ran into a problem. I thought I could take the wire clamp meant to hold a thermos bottle inside the lunchbox lid and hook it under the switch if I reached in carefully as I closed the box. The clamp wasn't quite long enough.